Okay, so we're gonna get started. Here's what I want you guys to do: get off the video game. So I'm gonna mute all of you. All right. So here's the deal: we are going into this really important chapter for outliers, which is the 10,000 hour rule. It's probably the most famous chapter in the book. There are a lot of people who use this as like a template for success when they are like trying to figure out how to become successful. This is like one of the most commonly cited chapters in all this entire book. So what we're going to do today is kind of talk about it a little bit and just what it lays out and why it's so important. But just to take care of a couple class things. One, I think it was my fault I labeled the date that this was due on the 18th instead of the 25th, which was yesterday, so it didn't show up for a lot of you to do it. I had 0 people from my class do this assignment, but you guys know that something is always due on Wednesday and something's always due now. And another thing I'm going to tell you, the Friday assignments, I'm now having you guys do those on Sunday from now on. That's just going to be the way it is from now on, because honestly, like, I think it gives you guys more time. You guys don't have to worry about all that stuff. Yadi, don't be watching Hannah Montana right now. You're definitely watching Hannah Montana. You totally are. But I want you guys to make sure that you are reading that chapter. Going back to what I was saying, Sunday is when assignments are going to be due because you guys have work tomorrow, quote unquote. You guys have work study tomorrow. So I'm having office hours, but I'm not requiring anyone to come in. It's if you have time or if you want to talk to me, just let me know. Those are kind of just up in the air of when you guys ever want to come in. So Friday is that. And then you said that. Okay, got you. So from now on, Sunday is when your assignment's going to be due. I think most teachers are switching over to Sunday. I think Lovelace said he was going to, and Boyd, I think both said that they were going to switch over to Sunday. So I'm going to do the same thing. Sunday at 11:59 p.m. is when your Friday assignments are due. Wednesday is when you guys still have to do that, like the smaller assignment, but you still have to turn it in. Since that's your independent work day, basically to do stuff. So again, Wednesday, you guys need to turn in your assignment for Wednesday. Nobody's turned that in. I switched the dates up, but you guys need to turn that in. I will not dock you for turning it in late since it was my fault for the date, but you need to turn that in as soon as possible. If I don't get it, then it's really going to hurt you guys. I have the grades for last week, but I have not been given the go-ahead to put grades in yet. So I am waiting on that and kind of seeing what it's like. And then, but those will go in hopefully by today. Hopefully I get a confirmation that I'm good to go to put those grades in. And once that's the case, those are all in. So be aware of that. What else? I think that's about it for like class stuff. So the rest of it, can you make sure to have it set Google Classroom? Yvonne, hold on. Let me unmute you. Wait, who are you again? You're fully big Ganesh. All right, hold on. Sorry. There we go. Philippe, or Yvonne, what were you gonna say?
What was the name of the assignment? Was it the quiz or was it the other thing?
No, your quiz is the one that's due on Sunday. Again, it's in the daily calendar. That's why I have the daily calendar up, so that way you guys can see what is due each day.
Okay, and then what I was gonna say is, like, if you could just, so it's easier because for example, what Lovelace does is we have Khan Academy for him, and then he'll just have it set up on Google Classroom as a reminder, like as an assignment, even though it's not really on Google Classroom. Like it's on Khan, but it just reminds us.
Well, I mean, that's what it usually does, but it just didn't show up because it didn't have the right date. So the date, it wasn't showing. So usually does that. It just didn't show up for that. But yeah, if there's anything that I have that's an assignment that's not directly on Google Classroom, I'll still link it as a reminder for you guys to do it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's why I'm giving you guys time to do it because it was my fault for putting in the wrong date. I just didn't change it. So that's why the reminder didn't show up. But usually it will. So, all right. So having said all that, you guys should have read chapter 2 for outliers. All right. And I want you guys to make sure that if you have not read that, you should be reading it or in the process of reading it, because it is the most important chapter. So what I want to do today is I'm going to go around to each of you, and you are going to have to tell me somebody that you think fits the 10,000 hour rule, who is an expert in something, who you know of, and it could be anybody who you know of that fits that 10,000 hour rule that Malcolm Gladwell lays out, okay? And it can be anybody in any field and whatever it is. But you guys just have to tell me why that they fit that 10,000 hour rule. And your assignment this week is to figure out how many hours it would take somebody and how many years it might take somebody to complete 10,000 hours and becoming an expert in whatever that thing is. Okay? So again, take like a minute, think about it, and I'm going to go to each one of you, and you have to tell me what you think is considered an outlier in that case. Got it? Okay. So just for a minute, you guys can do that, and I'll unmute you. So if anyone wants to get started, you can more than welcome to start. So, or I'm going to just call on you.
Ronaldo.
All right, Ivan, what do you got?
Ronaldo.
Ronaldo, okay. Why Ronaldo?
Because he was always constantly like working hard and grinding.
I was gonna say Ronaldo.
No. I'm first,
else?
as you can see.
I was gonna say Ronaldo. Okay, I think
Well,
someone.
You were.
Now hold on, Luis. You can do this with Ivan. Why Ronaldo? Though? Like, when did he start playing? Do you know?
Soccer.
When did he start playing though?
When?
What do you mean?
When did he start playing? I know he
was 17.
Like I'm not that.
He was like professionally like 17. Yeah.
Okay, so
you started at Sporting.
But hold on, soccer players usually start way younger though. That's what you got to remember. Mm-hmm. Professional is different from just playing in general. So like when
because I could have said Messi, but like I'm saying Ronaldo because he started at such a young age, and to this day he puts in so many hours to still be at where he's at.
There's an interview with the former teammate. I don't even know him. His name's Evra, and he literally said like, "Oh, Ronaldo like is the
what?
Heart,
the heart and soul of the team.
Person that he knows. Yeah, like the hardest working. Cause he said, I remember one time he invited me to go eat after training, and Ronaldo was like, "All right, we're gonna eat, and then we're gonna go train again, and then we're gonna go swimming, and then we're gonna go running." So like he's constantly working. He doesn't stop.
Well, first off, let's see also another interesting thing. So I think the cutoff date for soccer in Spain, because he's from Spain, correct? Or Portugal. He's from Portugal.
He's Portuguese, but he plays in Italy.
But you know when the cutoff date, I think in Portugal, you know what the cutoff date is for kids?
November.
Are you sure about that?
I don't know. I'm guessing.
I think it's January.
January.
You know when Ronaldo was born?
February.
So there's part of what you read in the first chapter is that he probably is one of those kids who was born way before the other kids in his age bracket.
Yeah, he used to be really small.
And he probably was, but he was probably fast though. So like everyone was probably like, all right, like this kid has a lot of talent, and he's older. And but imagine if he was smaller and slower, if he was born like in November, his talent probably wouldn't have gotten him to where he is. Because he would be even smaller than he was. So, and on top of that too, so I'm looking at his Wikipedia page, and it says, as a child, Ronaldo played for amateur team Andorina for 90.
That's not a reliable source. Anybody can fix it.
Okay. Well, it said 1995. That's 7 years old to 10 years old that he played. That's nuts. And that's a lot of time. That's 3 years. And he probably, for the entire time he played on that team, for that amateur team, he probably almost got 10,000 hours just in that time from 7 to 10 years old.
Because
he's not even professional too.
Because you could say Messi, and Messi been with Barcelona since he was like a child.
I mean, and that's why soccer players start when they're super young, because they recognize that talent. But that's the other thing too. Let's look at the cutoff date for Messi as well, because I think Messi might be.
Messi was born in June.
Interesting. I wonder what the cutoff date for that. He might be one of those that's just like, he was born. How do you know all these soccer players' birthdays, Luis? Do you just remember? I don't know any basketball players' birthdays.
There's nothing to do in quarantine. That's why.
Yeah, that's
Not
true.
even like Neymar. Neymar
He
is
knew
the
it,
same day as Ronaldo's February
he
5th.
knew it before. He knew it before for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, that's part of what you guys need to make sure you are paying attention to. But I think this is Ronaldo's an awesome example of a person who probably had 10,000 hours before he even started playing professional soccer.
Couldn't
Yeah.
you say like if you wanted to LeBron James too, like someone else?
Oh, LeBron, yeah, easily, right? I mean, LeBron started from a young, and his son too, Bronny. I mean,
Bronny for sure.
has started from like the age of like 3 playing, and I mean, there's
Mm-hmm.
videos of him playing with LeBron when he was a kid, and so not only that, but LeBron James is your dad, so you have a lot of opportunity as well. Where even if he has half the talent of his dad, people are still going to give him opportunities to do that stuff, right?
Because of the
And LeBron
name.
James was born in December 30th.
See, I wonder, but the cutoff date is different from, and LeBron, honestly, we probably shouldn't even talk about LeBron being, because he probably was taller than kids who were 2 or 3 years older than him, too. So
That's true.
LeBron's probably just too much of a freak athlete to even be considered for that.
Michael Jordan was from February, so he's one of those.
But I think that the cutoff date is different in the United States than for soccer because I think it's August. So LeBron actually would be considered, I think, in that age range where he would be like the middle, but I think he's such a freak athlete. I mean, Michael Jordan was considered too small for a long time too, but Michael
Yeah, he
Jordan
was.
had a lot of opportunities to get better. And talk about a guy who spent all that time, 10,000 hours in front of his house playing all the time. That's a guy who had to go to that stuff. But then that's why like he goes to try to play baseball and he's not that good at baseball, like because he didn't have 10,000 hours of playing baseball, even though that's what his dad wanted him to do. But he had 10,000 hours of playing basketball after a while. So there's a big difference.
Mhm.
All right. So Luis and Yvonne, you guys are good. Let's see. Esme, you just came in. Do you have somebody who has worked 10,000 hours as well as an example? No. Yeah, I'll get back to her. No. Esme, are you there?
She was gonna say Philippe.
What?
So
No,
we're right now going through examples of
I
people.
just woke up, Neach.
I know. That's why you should wake up. That's why.
Oh my God,
Um,
man.
So if we're going through examples of people who are good examples of like the 10,000 hour rule, like where they spent 10,000 hours doing something to become the best at whatever they're doing. So do you have any examples of that too? It doesn't have to be an athlete or anything like that. Just any examples that you might have.
I don't know. I don't think so.
So nobody
No.
that you like follow who like has 10,000, any musicians or anything like that? Okay, think about it. I'm going to come back to you. All right.
Okay.
Okay. Fernando, do you have somebody who spent a 10,000 hour rule person? Fernando, better not be playing video games, my guy. Oh, Fernando.
His phone died. Remember?
No, but he's still on right now. I see him. If he's not answering, then that's,
You went to the bathroom.
Well, then he shouldn't be going to the bathroom then. All right. Let's see. Speedy, where are you?
I'm not here.
Yeah, you are. Do you have an example of a 10,000 hour rule person?
I was thinking of a football player, Julio
Okay.
Jones,
Okay, Julio Jones. Good example. Why?
because he's always working.
Well, not just working. Do you think he spent? Do you have any? Do you know when he started playing football?
No, let me look that up right now.
Yeah, look it up because I think a lot of football players start playing really young as kids, and maybe not so much anymore. This is the question too. That eventually, this is why people think football might die off, is because if young kids aren't playing football, because parents are afraid of them getting hurt, then they can't really become experts on playing football, especially at a young age too. That's part of what people talk about might be an issue in the future. Do you find anything on Julio Jones?
No.
Well, I know a lot of them play really young. So I would imagine Julio Jones has been playing since he was a kid, in some capacity. So that wouldn't surprise me. So do some more research on that, Speedy.
It says he was playing before the 7th grade.
Okay, there you go. So before, really, that's I think a lot of kids start playing like around 5th or 6th grade for like tackle football. That's when they start playing. So that makes
Yeah.
sense. So do you think he hit 10,000 hours pretty early then?
Yeah, and it also says he was a starter on basketball team and ran track.
Okay. Yeah. So not just that, but he also was just working at other stuff trying to get himself prepped as well. Yeah. All right, good. Yeah, think about that a little bit more as you go into it. All right. Sammy, you got one? Samuel.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, I said that maybe like someone like maybe like a music artist.
Okay, like who?
Like let's just say for example, who would be a good one? Maybe like Michael Jackson, maybe.
Okay. Great example.
It's like
Uh,
maybe like he might not be like in the field like professionally like practicing and sing, but like maybe just at home and like with family members and stuff, those count as hours and like experience
they
for
do.
him.
Do
Yeah.
you know when he got started?
Nah, but I'm guessing a very young age because that talent is like you got to be working on it a whole life. You feel me?
All right. Anyone remember hold on. Let me play.
Yeah.
I
Hold
don't
on.
know what age you started at, but I know he started
Hold on.
really young because there's that
You
one.
guys,
Oh, that song.
you guys
Yeah.
know this song?
Yeah, I love that song.
That's the Jackson 5. That's the Jackson 5. You know who's the lead singer in Jackson 5?
Him,
Michael Jackson.
the GOAT.
Him and his brothers started at a very young age, and his dad put them in a band at the age of 9 or 10, I think he is, when he sings the song. That's when they got started. So at a young age, they were in a band, probably before he was 7, he was already dancing and singing and doing all this other stuff. And then by the time he goes to when he's 16, 18, he becomes a mega pop star. That's when he already has an immense amount of talent and already the time that he spent practicing and being a musician. Absolutely. I think he's a great example of that. When do you think he probably hit 10,000 hours, Sammy? If you had to guess, do you think
Maybe like age what, 13 maybe?
I would say that's probably right. Yeah. Because that's very, very a lot. I mean, if he started at like 7 and you're talking about also what you said, like working at home and practicing and stuff like that, I think for sure that's
Yeah.
probably a good guess.
He
All right,
started
good.
young.
Yeah. Yadi, you got one?
What?
Yadi, you got somebody who hits the 10,000 hour mark?
Nope.
Don't be watching Hannah Montana. You definitely
I'm not. The iPad's right there. I'm eating a limon.
Oh, okay. Do you have an example though, Yadi? What about Hannah Montana? Does she hit the 10,000 hour mark?
I don't know about her. I just felt like watching the movie, so I started watching the movie.
You don't know anything about Hannah Montana
Yeah, I do.
or
She's
Miley
a singer.
Cyrus?
Mm-hmm. I
Okay.
mean, I'm pretty sure she put in a lot of hours.
Okay. Do you have another example that might fit?
Mm. No, Neach. They said pretty much everything.
There's not just Michael Jackson and Ronaldo and LeBron James who are the only people. You got to have somebody that you follow who hits that.
Our parents.
I don't know. I don't really pay attention to people. I don't know. I'm not
Your
really.
parents? That's a really good example. Yvonne, Yvonne brought up a good one. Yeah, do your parents, do you think they've hit the 10,000 hour mark with whatever they do?
My mom's a stay-at-home mom, so
Okay.
she's
Do you
good
think
at cleaning.
do you think she's hit 10,000 hours of cleaning, cooking, and taking care of kids?
Probably taking care of kids. She doesn't cook. I cook.
Okay, well, that's fair. But taking care of kids and being a mom, she probably has 10,000 hours in that, right?
Yeah.
Because you have older siblings, correct?
Mm-hmm.
How old are they?
The oldest is turning 33 this year, and I'm the youngest.
So your mom probably has, by the time your oldest sibling turned, what would it be? 4? 3, 4? She probably already hit 10,000 hours, even way before that, probably. So, yeah, that could be something. You could be an expert in being a parent. Maybe this is why parents always try to give kids advice because they've seen it all. You know.
My mom's mean.
Your
My
mom's
dad's a nice one.
Oh, okay. That's fair. That's always the good cop, bad cop thing, though. All right. Let's see. I still need to come back. Fernando, you back from going to the bathroom?
He has his headset in. He can't hear you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You have an example?
Of what?
Fernando was on the Xbox. He was playing
Yeah,
Fortnite.
Yeah, he's
It's not even on.
playing Fortnite right now.
Bro, you just invited me.
I didn't even have you added.
Bro, he's inviting me too.
Fernando, you got an example of
Man,
somebody?
I'm not gonna play.
Luis, be quiet. Do you have somebody who an example of somebody who's done 10,000 hours of work to become an expert in something?
Himself?
I don't know.
Don't say I don't know. You got to have somebody that you follow.
Ninja.
Let's see. You said what?
Ninja, because you play
somebody-
Fortnite.
Okay, I guess Ninja.
Huh?
I guess okay, Ninja.
Ninja?
Yeah,
Isn't he a Twitch streamer?
yeah,
Okay. Do you think he's had 10,000 hours of Twitch streams already?
yeah. Probably more.
Okay. When did he start? Do you know?
I don't know, like 2014.
2014. And then how often does he do Twitch?
Every day.
You know, every day.
Yeah,
And then how long does he usually do a Twitch stream for?
like
All day.
8 hours.
Is
It's
he
pretty
really?
much like a job.
Oh my god.
He does it all day, then takes a break, then he hops on in nighttime too.
Ugh. What does he play? Like just a bunch of random stuff?
Places,
Yeah, mostly Fortnite.
Fortnite and girls.
That's crazy. I couldn't even imagine that being my job. It's nuts. All right, good. Yeah, I think that's a great example. Let's try to get a couple more. Let's see. Danny. Danny showed up late to the party. Do you have somebody who's hit the 10,000 hour mark, Danny? Somebody that you know who's at the 10,000 hour mark?
On what?
So the point of the assignment is to because we're talking about the 10,000 hour rule, right? Which is the new chapter that we just read. Say that again.
Hi, Neach.
Hi, Danny. Do you think do you know of anybody, Danny, like either in your life or who you follow?
I've hit the 10,000 hour mark. Oh, and 2K.
In 2K?
Yeah.
Okay. So how long have you played 2K for?
Since 2K14.
It's basically the same game, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what, 5 years, basically?
Yeah.
Okay. How often do you think you play during the week? Like how many hours do you think you play during the week?
Oh, a lot.
If you had to guess, and on average, how many hours do you think you play during the week?
If I had to guess on average, I'd say about 40.
40? You play 40 hours a week? Like that? Dang, really?
I'm a god at that game. I don't miss.
Okay, so you do so you basically have a full-time job playing 2K.
Yeah.
Like you come home and you play it for how many hours, you think?
3, 4.
3 or 4 hours. 5 days a week, 15. And then on the weekends, how many hours do you play?
Same.
3 or 4 hours. So that's not 40 hours.
Oh, you said, you're counting the weekends too.
Right. Okay, so let's say you do 30 hours a week.
Okay, that's cool.
And then you do it 52 weeks in a year. You're playing 1,560 hours worth of 2K a year.
Wow.
For 6 years, you're still not hit 10,000 hours.
Oh, I need to do a little more.
So
All right,
this is not including this year too, which you're probably even less than this right now.
Oh.
So this is by the end of the year, and then on top of that, a couple more hours too in the next. Then you could be an expert in 2K, but you still cannot call yourself an expert in 2K.
Or what about a professional athlete? with a basketball player.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about Ronaldo and we talked about LeBron, and I think somebody from another class brought up Giannis too, which is a great example of their. Do you have somebody who fits that idea?
Devin Booker.
I was gonna say, Yvonne, I'm surprised you haven't brought up Devin Booker at all. Do you think Devin Booker's at 10,000 hours?
Yeah, honestly, I think he
No.
has
Hey, why you got goggles on?
because I'm swimming.
Danny, do you have an example though of somebody else, or do you have another professional athlete example?
No.
Okay. Just no.
Yeah.
All right.
Neach,
Yeah.
do you think Devin Booker, what's it called, has reached the 10,000 mark?
I don't know. I mean, honestly, when many basketball
He's
players start
he's
playing,
23.
he's 23, been
He
playing.
got drafted in like 15.
But you got to remember, not just the amount of days or games that they played, but the amount of practice that they put in too, not just on regular practice, but also probably on his own has done the practice that he's done. I mean, I think for sure he's probably hit 10,000 hours at some point. The question is when and how long did it take him to do that? When you're a kid, you usually have less hours to commit to doing that stuff because you are in school and that takes up a majority of your time. And then by the time you do become or trying to become a professional, that's usually when it kicks in. So probably in college, he probably hit the 10,000 hour mark at some point, maybe high school too. He hit the 10,000 hour mark, but that's the question. And what this chapter is designed to show you guys is just how long it takes to become a professional or an expert in whatever you are wanting to do. It takes a really, really long time to get that stuff, to do that stuff. So I would tell you that this is not just something where it's like, oh yeah, like I can just do 10,000 hours easy in like in a year. You could do it. You actually can't do a full 10,000 hours in a year. I don't think. Actually, you could. I think at some point. Hold on, let's see. 10,000 hours divided by 24, which would be 416 days.
Oh,
So
wow.
you can't even do 10,000 hours in a year, from what it seems like. I think just off of my bad math. I don't know if that's correct or not. Let's do this. 365 days a year. There's only 8,760 days in a year. So you couldn't even do it unless you got sleep and did all that other stuff. You couldn't even become that level of professional in that time too. So it takes a lot of what the chapter's trying to show you is how committed you have to be to doing stuff like that. And professional athletes and musicians and all this other stuff, that, I mean, they are the example of that. Danny, do you think Jim Jones is an example of this then?
Yeah, Jim Jones.
Do you think he was he hit the 10,000 hour mark of becoming a parent?
Jim Jones.
He probably did have 10,000 hours after a while of preaching. I mean, he started at a young age and like he definitely was manipulative enough where he became a professional manipulator. So I think that somewhat counts, even though it's kind of sad, but it does count in a way. So
Cured cancer.
Okay, so let's see. Luis Speedy Batista. Batista, do you got anything?
Okay.
Not even showing up right now. Batista, tell me when you're back on. Esme, you got anything?
Sabrina Williams.
Oh, okay. Good one. Why Sabrina Williams?
Who's that?
The tennis player?
Sabrina Williams is awesome. If you guys
I
don't
just
know-
searched her up.
But do you think did you search up Sabrina Williams 10,000 hours?
No, I just searched up famous athletes.
Well, okay. Do you know anything about Sabrina Williams?
It says that she moved to California and when she was 3, and that's when she started playing tennis.
Mm-hmm. So she
And
started
then-
playing at 3.
Yeah, and then her sister was also successful in her career.
Yeah.
Then she stayed at home instead of going to school to practice.
So, I mean, that just shows you the amount of commitment that she had to put into doing this. Is like just skip school just so she can get that much
Well,
better.
yeah, because her sister was already like very successful in it.
Yeah. Venus. Venus is also was really, really talented. They played each other multiple times in a tennis final, actually, and had to like beat each other,
It
too.
says that Serena won.
Yeah, Venus won a couple times, but Serena won most of them.
And then it says she started playing professional tennis at 14 years old.
Yeah. So do you think she hit 10,000 hours before she was even a pro?
Yeah, she skipped school.
Probably hit 10,000 hours because it sounds and their dad like was really hard about like them practicing every day too. So that's good. All right. Tyler Belvins, who's that? Danny.
Professional Fortnite player.
Okay. Why do you think he said 10,000 hours?
That's Ninja.
He wakes up, streams for 7 hours, takes a break for 3 hours, and then streams.
Didn't we just talk about this?
No.
Yeah, that's Ninja.
No, that's Ninja.
We just talked about Ninja. You missed it.
No, I was here. I just was mute.
No, you weren't. You were late. All right, last one. I think Antonio is the last one. So, Antonio, you got anything?
Yeah, this is probably gonna sound like conceited and narcissistic, but
Jackie Chan.
No. Me?
Okay. What?
Drawing. It's kind of lame, but
No, but why? No, that's totally fine. Why do you think you've hit 10,000 hours in drawing?
probably I started when I was like 5.
Okay. So so how often, on average, how many hours do you think you spend drawing? Like a week?
I used to like, I don't know, do it every day.
How many hours do you think? Like 3, 4 hours, maybe drawing.
No, probably more.
Okay. So
like I would actually like try, you know.
Okay.
Try to get better.
So it'd be like, so you did it every day.
I think.
Yeah.
Probably.
So if you did, let's say you did like 6 hours, is that fair?
Yeah.
6 hours every day times 7 days a week times 52 weeks in a year. You probably hit that by the time you were 10. If you started at 5 years old, you probably are an expert now. So yeah, you're probably past that point too.
Right.
So, yeah.
Here, look.
Any answer now?
Oh wow.
Yeah. All right.
That's
So
fun.
is
Neach.
everyone, I really no, and that's a great
Neach.
example though, Antonio. I do think
I
that.
can't even draw the heart.
Huh?
Neach.
I don't know how to draw hearts.
Yvonne?
Same, Yadi.
So, anyone else have anything they want to add to this? I think that this was a pretty good.
Trainer.
I'm an expert.
A trainer.
A trainer in what?
In animals.
Like the tiger guy?
Yeah, or like dog trainers.
Okay. Why, Danny?
Because when I took my dog to this guy training, he said he's been doing it for 30 years.
So 30 years, is that his full-time job? That's a full-time job, 40 hours a week. I mean, if you're doing a job 40 hours a week and you do it for 4 or 5 years, you're an expert in that job. Like that's pretty much like you can consider yourself an expert by that time. So that's good. All right, guys. Well,
Wait, Neach, are you an expert teacher?
no, I'm not even close to
Oh
hitting
wow.
the hours I need.
Good question.
No, I don't think so. So like I don't think I'll hit that for another 4 or 5 years. And even then, like, you know, like who knows if I'll ever be an expert in that at all. So no.
Well, don't you teach at another school too? So
Yeah,
that's
but
more
that's,
hours.
I don't know. Like it's I think that's a difference between like teaching online and teaching in person. I just think teaching in person is an entirely different thing. So, you know.
I mean, teaching is teaching, Neach.
True. That's fair.
And then are you counting like your prep hours too, or just like those hours?
I don't
that
know.
you
I guess
actually-
that's practice. So yeah, I mean, I work way more than just seeing you guys in the classroom. So I mean, there's a good chance that I'm on my way to doing that, but maybe I could hit it in like 2 or 3 years, but it might take me 4 or 5 years to really do that. So it's a good question. I haven't really added up how many hours I've been in the classroom compared to all that. So I don't know. That's a really good question. All right, guys. Well, that's all I wanted to talk about today was just kind of go over this chapter a little bit. Our classes will kind of be like this at times where I just ask you guys a general question, then we'll all talk about it together. Make sure that you guys are paying attention to what you're doing on like that you do that assignment from yesterday that you guys need to turn in. Make sure you guys turn that in. All right. I know that was my fault for not putting on the date correctly, so I'll give you till the end of this week to do that. But remember, Friday is not your due date this week, or tomorrow's not your due date this week for your assignment, and we're switching the big assignments to be due on Sunday from now on. So you guys are set on that. If you have any other questions, just let me know. But I think that's basically it. So
What is the big assignment again, or the one that's gonna be?
quiz. So that's due on Sunday. So it's a quiz that's due on Sunday now because you guys have work tomorrow technically. So they asked us not to give you guys anything those days because it's a lot usually. I will have office hours tomorrow where I'll just be on the computer. If you guys want to talk, let me know. But that's only if you've finished all of your work study stuff that you can call me and see what just ask me a question or whatever. So
Okay.
everyone good with that?
Yadi, what are you doing?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Waiting for this class to end so I can continue watching Hannah Montana.
You go watch Hannah Montana, Yachty. So, all right, guys. I will see you all later. Love you all. Talk to you later.
All right, Neach.
See you, Neach.
Bye.
Homo.
How's it with you?
I need.